So I'm 40 and I know absolutely nothing. And in many ways, I feel more lost than ever. Now this isn't your usual I'm 40 and I've effed up my life video. It's more an I'm 40 and I'm accepting that I've lived my life in complete delusion and ego and push and pull and trying to be something. So the big one for me is truth. You know, I've been a truth seeker all of my adult life, and I've called myself a truth speaker and felt like I knew the truth and was very passionate and aggressive about it, and did quite well on another YouTube channel with that energy. And yeah, it's all falling apart. I'm not sure I'll really be able to speak into this because it's all very new for me, but it seems, I am told by a very wise elder that has recently come into my life, Jerome, that the truth only exists in the second density. It's polarized. For something to be true, we have to live in polarity. We have to live in opposites. And it seems that as the Schumann resonance rises, as the sun changes colour, as Gaia decides that it's moving towards what many call a new earth, that we're moving to a time, or I'm sensing in my life, that we've moved to a time where everything is a spectrum and the truth doesn't really exist. It only exists depending on your perspective. And things aren't so black and white. It's really difficult for me to speak into because in many ways it still seems obvious to me, like, oh no, this is the truth. You know, certainly when you look at the political system. But Jerome explains that so yes, the governments are corrupt in the West, but is that in service? Like, from a spiritual perspective, is that in service? So is it? But it is. I mean, it definitely is forcing people to wake up. It's allowing the light to be found within people. So is it all actually of great service? I knew I wouldn't be able to do this video. You know, it's still so new to me. And in that feels, yeah, maybe I should just talk about how it feels. In that feels like a great nothingness. You know, something that I've held for so long to be true and that I'm right. You know, I think this is the main point, is letting go of this, I'm right, I know something, I'm wise, I am something. So obviously in that process, there just feels like a great nothingness. You know, it would be easy for me to go into it, like, yeah, previously when I've come up against this sort of thing, just challenges in life, you know, gone into a great woe is me, life is pointless, what's the point in being alive? And don't get me wrong, like, I can notice that part of me, like, it's definitely there. I really went into it yesterday. I basically spent the day in bed yesterday because what's the point in doing anything? And then I went to go and meet Jerome, but I turned up late because I was in resistance / very tired. And by the time I got there, his partner Lydia was there. Now, I don't do well around spiritual women. I don't do well around, well, women in general, really. There's the odd one that I can really connect with. But I have a real tendency to pedestal. So, you know, these people are less conscious than me, these people are more conscious than me. And I don't want to be around people that are less conscious than me. But when I meet people who are more conscious than me, I shrink. You know, I really shrink. I really go in, like some inner child parts come up. Lack of self-worth, just feeling like I don't deserve. So Lydia was there, and that was daunting enough. And they were sat with another chap who looked very spiritual. And so I gate crashed their trio of high consciousness. And I felt a need to introduce myself to this guy, like, 'cause I sat down with him. So obviously I already know Jeroen and Lydia. And I was like, "Hi mate, Tom." And then he came out with this Icelandic name, which I just couldn't pronounce. So I asked him to repeat it, and I still couldn't pronounce it. So straight away I was just like, a spaz. And then they went back to their conversation. Well, no, I actually said, "Don't let me stop your conversation." But yeah, obviously they went back to their conversation. And I just felt like such a twat. You know, I really went into, I'm not good enough to be here. These people don't want me here. All these old stories which have dominated my life. And previously, I would have ran away from that. I remember the first time I noticed it was when because we're so unconscious of these patterns, and the ego will trick us. So the first time I noticed it was when I was running a community centre, and I sat down with a group of people who I knew very well, who were part of my community, and I noticed that part of me that just wanted to escape, that wanted to run away. And previously I'd have done it by telling myself a story like, "Oh, this needs doing in the community centre, I need to rearrange those pencils," or something completely irrelevant, just to run away. And for the first time I noticed that that's what I was doing. And I just sat there, and I went red, I got sweaty, it was so painful. So yesterday, that same feeling came up, but there wasn't a physical reaction to it, there was just an emotional reaction of like, I'm not good enough. And I couldn't help but go into comparison with this guy, and there is no comparison. Like he makes my life look boring. He's lived in the desert, he got lost in the desert, he almost died in the desert. This guy has experienced life. And then Jeroen came to sit with me. I was on a table next to him, and him and Lydia went into this like eye gazing, and it just made me squirm, And I've said on previous videos, like, if you're not able to eye gaze, you're not able to feel yourself. But like watching him do it with Lydia, I was just like, I just couldn't fucking do that, man. Like, that would make me go red and sweaty. Pedestaling. But there's also a lot of truth in it. Oh man, it's so hard. It's so hard to actually feel yourself and try and get to some sort of authentic place that isn't just dominated by old patterns and the ego. And it feels like all my external factors are just pointing me towards this nothingness, this letting go. So obviously that shows up in YouTube, how badly my 2 channels are doing. And then the channel that was successful, which will be coming back in about 10 days, or I will be able to use again in 10 days. It's like, can I even do that anymore? I think people resonated with my anxiety over it and my like, whoa energy, and that's just not in me anymore. 40 years old, trying to be a YouTuber, failing, and not knowing who you are. It's a very strange place to be. But it's obviously where I'm meant to be. Is there something on the other side of this? I don't know. But I know I can't keep pretending I know anything, pretending I am anything. I think that's all I've got, because I don't know who I am. Let me know what you think.